to the State House District 24, running as an independent, Andy Kesselring. Andy.
You know, as many other people have said, it's been a real privilege to be able to serve you over the last 8 years as your county commissioner. And sorry about that. Usually most people don't have any trouble hearing my projection. But it has been a privilege to serve you for the last 8 years as your county commissioner. Silver Spring Shores is in the district that I've represented on the county commission. And to tell you how important it is for me to come out here and speak with you tonight, today's actually my 29th wedding anniversary. And I'm spending it here with you. That's because it is important. And I think that over the last 8 years, I've been able to accomplish a couple of important things for Silver Spring Shores that I think plays into how I can translate that into going to Tallahassee for you. Over the last 8 years, if you remember, there was a time when the road maintenance program out here was the #1 issue. And we were able to work with the Residents Association, get that program in place, and you're now in the 5th year of a 10-year program to resurface all of your roads out here. I was also responsible for helping you get the expansion of the park across the street that actually expands the recreational facilities here for the community center. And in addition to that, this coming year, you actually are on schedule to get a new public library out here in Silver Spring Shores over in the Roundhouse Park area. That is on the books, it's already fully funded, so that process is moving forward. The reason why I mentioned those to you is because it shows you that I can go ahead and take an issue that is important to the residents right here in this district and translate that into workable policy that actually gets you something on the ground. As Ed mentioned to you, I'm actually running with no party affiliation this time. And the reason why I'm doing that is because even though I'm still a registered Republican, I'm running this way because I want to focus on the issues. I think that there is a tremendous amount of problems up in Tallahassee right now about having issues about working across the aisle. And I think that we really need to take a look at a new way of trying to attack some of the big issues that are facing not only the state of Florida, but Marion County. And let me mention just a couple of those very quickly. You already heard a little bit about property tax reform. What's been happening so far has not really addressed any of the underlying problems that are out there. It did nothing to address that your neighbor's house may be assessed at a completely different rate than yours and pays a completely different rate, tax rate for basically the same services. It has done nothing to be able to address non-residential pieces of property that don't have the Save Our Homes, that just because property values, because people have moved in here speculating, skyrockets the value of the property. All of a sudden, those non-residential properties are paying double and triple what their property taxes are without demanding any additional services. The whole portability issue, where we allowed people from South Florida that had very expensive homes to be able to transfer all of that portability up to Marion County and not pay their fair share of their growth that they've incurred here, was not right. The other thing that I think that we really have to take a look at is a couple years ago, we did a study in Marion County, and 30% of the people in Marion County, property owners in Marion County, were paying little or no property taxes. If that amount of people are not paying property taxes, who do you think is making up the burden? That's all the rest of us. What we need to do up in Tallahassee is we need a radical new approach to how we're looking at property taxes. We need to base it upon what are the demands for services, not just what the value of the piece of property is. If you, as I said earlier about non-residential properties, just because your value has doubled or tripled, that doesn't mean you're demanding double or triple the services. So there shouldn't be any reason why your taxes should double or triple. So I think that you got to think outside the box for a solution there. And I've shown that I can do that in a number of different ways here locally, and I see no reason why we can't take that to Tallahassee and think outside the box and come up with a true solution. It was mentioned earlier, the unfunded mandates, which is a tremendous problem. Over the last 5 years, Tallahassee has passed 377 different bills containing over 500 different unfunded mandates that have passed down to local governments and school boards, a cost of $680 million a year in unfunded mandates. And then they wonder why property taxes are going up to meet those things. That's got to change, and it will change when you send me to Tallahassee. You heard a little bit about the water management districts. And if anybody knows, there hasn't been anybody that's faulted the water management districts more so than the county commission and probably myself, having been involved with different water issues. But I tell you, one of the first things that I will file when I go to Tallahassee is that we will prohibit private water bottlers from tapping into the aquifer and getting permits from areas that have shown that they're going to need that water in the future. Right now, Marion County is in a lawsuit right now, and we are taking it all the way to the Supreme Court because the Water Management District has given a permit for a private water bottler to take out 500,000 gallons of water a day from our county, when we already know that within a couple of years we're going to reach some critical mass as far as being able to provide water for ourselves. That process has got to stop, and that's going to be the highest priority that I have when I go to Tallahassee. The second thing is FDOT funding. Right now, I always have to look over my shoulder, make sure that's not speaking up. Right now, Marion County gets less than 60 cents back for every dollar that it sends to Tallahassee for transportation dollars. We are the third lowest funded county out of the whole state in getting transportation dollars over the last 5 years. If I go, I will make a priority to be able to change the methodology of the way that the DOT funds their projects and how they get their funding. Let me tell you, back in the mid-'80s, I served on a Citizens Advisory Committee, and we identified State Road 40 as the highest priority. We heard the other day, DOT is now telling us that State Road 40 will be 4-lane east in 2031. That's 45 years to get a road 4-lane. Ladies and gentlemen, that is unacceptable, and that's going to change. Let me just mention a couple other things. Somebody mentioned education earlier. I think that we need to take a radical new approach to education, not only education funding, but also giving the local school boards the opportunity to be able to address local conditions. There are so many restrictions and requirements now coming out from Tallahassee that they think they can control everything, that we really don't have the flexibility locally to be able to do what we need to do. I'm running this campaign a little bit differently as an independent because I think that we deserve something different in Tallahassee right now. I hope that you will vote for me on November 4th, and I look forward to any questions.
Questions?